Hey, welcome everyone. Now we are live in Getting Started in Crypto on X, on YouTube, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and I think that's it. Maybe I've missed something, but welcome. It's just me today, so bear with me as I do all the things. So I'm really nervous, so it could be like a disaster. So just literally bear with me. But how exciting is it that we have hit new all-time high? It seems every day there's a new all-time high on BTC, and we're over 80k. So last week I told you that we were going to hit 75, and then literally within moments of going live, within a day, we were at 75. Now we're 81. Let's see where we're going. It's like, insanely huge that, Bitcoin is just going mental. So let me bear with this and try and get these charts up and see how I go. All right. Add to screen. Yay! I did it. So this is BTC. This is the one we were looking at last week. We can see that we got to the 75k mark, came back down, and we just literally headed up. We held above that resistance, which is now a support. You would have seen me do some squiggles here. We now have this 80k mark that is holding. Now, if any retest, we haven't had a major retest for a little bit. So just having a look at the stock RSI, we're starting to turn over. So that's a good indication that we could be getting a little bit toppy, or we're going to have some sideways momentum. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to have a major pullback. I don't think we're going to be getting any major pullbacks over the next little while, because I think the higher we can push Bitcoin, the more media it's going to attract and the more money is going to flow into the market. And that's essentially what we want. So we want that retail money to start moving into the market now. We want those ETFs to start buying up like massively and just continuing. So for BTC, it is looking good. So when we have a look at the RSI, we're in the green here. So, that does mean even if there's a little bit of consolidation, we are looking really, really bullish. So this is a daily chart, in case anyone's wondering. So we want to look at higher time frames just to see where we're getting, a little bit of resistance. We can see that in this region, we're getting a little bit. We are on a fib level here, so that could include a pullback. So if we go to these larger charts, and these are a longer time frame, these are the BLX. So this is the Bitcoin Liquid Index. Basically goes back to the beginning of time. So it's a really good chart to sort of, assess where we are in the pattern. And we can see with these pitchforks, we've got a complete move here. Oops, hang on, just took that one off. Where we can see this has come back down, touched the median line, and we're now at the point where this is the potential where we can break out. So we can see if we go back down to this one here, we can see that we got to the median line. This one got to the first fib in this region, got to the median line, pulled back, has continued up. So we're now at this point. So when we go back to the previous cycle, this is 2017, so 2 previous cycles ago, we can see that at this point here, this is where we completely broke out. So while it might take a little bit of, congestion sort of easing, this is a monthly chart. So we've still got, 20 so days left of this. So so this is essentially the point where we might get a little bit of confluence happening in this region and then a mega breakout. So let's just keep buying these dips, because any dips at the moment are just going to be where we add in. Now, I saw some hugely extreme sort of predictions for BTC and for Ethereum today, where a lot of big traders are saying we're going to $1 million. That's a potential. Bitcoin has moved at least 10%, 10 times when we have had any of these moves. So if we go back down and we have a look from sort of 2019 up until the last one, so we got a 200% move. So if we are to assume, even if we get half of that, we're kind of there at the moment. So that's 400%. So if we're going 2000%, if we get half of it, we are sitting at about 200 grand. If we continue and we get that 200% move, I'm going to just get some glasses so I can actually see. We're sitting at about 390,000. So, that's the potential of this move in this next region. So when we go back to my quantitative chart, which is where we look at the easing and the tightening and how that works in the 4-year cycle for BTC, we can see that we've finished that easing cycle. We had a rate cut, an early rate cut, literally as soon as a new president was in. We had a 25% basis point cut, and we are ready and racing. So a little bit slower than it has been, but it's still in that same sort of technical region where we've started moving previously. So that's pretty good. The resistance on this chart from the all-time high comes up at about 90,000. So between that sort of 90 to 93 mark, there's going to be, I would say, a larger consolidation than what we're seeing at the moment. And that's where we'll sort of consolidate under that level. And then we should explode from there. So there may be a larger pullback at that region. It can potentially go to 98K. The fib levels show 98K in that region. And once we've got that full wave one ready and going, we can do a projection. So any projection that we're seeing at the moment doesn't have all the data, in my opinion. So if we're looking at that, then that's kind of what we're seeing. Now, if you want to know how I do the Fibonacci and all of that, so hang on, let me push this camera back to just me. See if I can do that. There we go. In my book, Become a Millionaire in a Year, all of the Fibonacci and how Lisa Narchi works and how I get my projections, and literally grab that and you can see, and that's literally what all the yellow lines are on my chart. So jumping back to these charts. So Bitcoin dominance, insanely huge, and has literally blown through up through that triangle, and we've now got a wedge or a channel happening. Now the channel should top out at about 67 before we do get a pullback, so we've still got lots of room to move. When the Bitcoin dominance obviously pulls back, that's when we do see alts moving. We've seen some nice movements on alts at the moment. And the crazy thing about what's happening at the moment is Bitcoin and the DXY are all going up at the same time, and they're paired together. So that's showing that Bitcoin has so much strength at the moment because it's inversely correlated with the US dollar. It's just showing how much strength Bitcoin has. So if the US dollar starts to decline, we do have a resistance coming up for that. It's almost there. So at 105.5, there's a strong resistance on the US dollar. So that should see a pullback and allow Bitcoin to finish that the next step up. So also when we go to the total crypto market cap, it's as well had a breakout here and headed into that third wave, the same as what Bitcoin is at the moment. So that's a really strong sign the market is looking healthy. The total 2, which is the crypto cap minus BTC, has just hit a resistance. So that may see alts just pulling back a little bit and allowing BTC and ETH to continue. I do think there's going to be a little bit of consolidation in this region at the moment because it has hit a fib level. So just be aware of that. I do believe ETH is seeing a pullback at the moment. So if I drop this down to an hourly, We can see just a minor pullback. So it hasn't had a touchdown to the 100 MA in a while. So just be aware of that. That's at 3,025. Might be good to just have an order waiting there, because it could be just a little bit where it just goes wick down and straight back up. So resistant for Ethereum is coming up at about 3,570. Now, when we put that to a daily chart, we can see that this is, hang on, that's an old pattern. Wait 2 secs. So we can see that we're in this pattern. We've come straight up. And literally we need to break that 3,557 sort of region before, and then flip that as a support. So what that would look like is a little bit of consolidation in this region, hit this region, break out, and come back down. So that's the ideal pattern for ETH, and we should see another strong resistance around that 4,000 mark. So we've got a little bit more to go. It is lagging at the moment. It is a little bit slower, but it has been this whole entire cycle. Yeah, so, and the next one, Solana, has also just had a breakout. So let me go down to the daily on that one. And let's just have a look. Hang on, just let me take some of this stuff off. Doesn't want to come off. No, it's not coming off. There we go. Okay. So as we can see, Solana has had a breakout. It is looking good. Meme coins have been amazing. We can see that this, when you're looking at channels and wedges, they normally have 3 to 4 touches. On the 4th touch, if they don't break out or break down, they normally have a bigger correction. So we can see 1, 2, 3, 4 touches, and then it had a breakout. So that's essentially what we're looking for. We're looking for that 4th touch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it went up. So that's the sort of pivotal point, what you're looking for in a channel or in a wedge. We can also see that on this daily chart, Solana is starting to turn down. So that does mean that we're going to see a pullback here. Whether that's large or small is unknown. We can see that it does get quite choppy in some of the regions. So when we have a look at this and we go back and we go, oh yeah, that's sideways. So it does tend to hold higher and then hit sideways. So what that may look like for Solana is just retesting this breakout region, a little bit of sideways before it heads up. So it has slowed down a little bit from the explosive start it had, you know, at the start of this cycle. So yeah, all in all, it's looking really good. Alts are going to have a pullback at the moment just due to that resistance on that total 2. So just be really careful when you're in alts. But they may not have major pullbacks. They may just hang sideways because the market is starting to get super, super bullish. So yeah, hopefully that was all went out everywhere okay, and I did this okay. And yeah, I will catch you next week. Thanks for watching.